welcome back to another painting tutorial. My name's Jeff, and this time we're working on the most amount of painting for any unit in my Dwarf army, the Dwarf Warriors. Stick through to the end to see how the army is coming together. These guys were absolutely packed with little details that make them look great on the tabletop, so let's get started. To begin, as with all my Dwarfen armor, I primed the strips with Leadbelcher Spray from Citadel. This is a great starting point, especially for these guys since they're completely covered in Gromril armor. Then I dry brush with Ironbreaker. This gives an awesome shine to the metal, making it look polished. There's no way a proper dwarf would ever be caught in dirty armor. Next I use Highlord Blue and Blood Red from Army Painter's Speed Paints range. This is a really easy and effective way to tint the surface, giving it some color while retaining its metallic look. I like to try and randomize a mix of blue and red shields across the different strips. Today we'll just be working on 2 strips of warriors and a command strip show the different layouts for these models. But I did work through 4 units of these guys, as you'll see at the end. A really small detail here is the beard armor under the helmet. For these, I use Balthazar Gold. Now, on to all the armor trim, shield emblems, and weapon embellishments. These were all painted with Retributor Armour. This part was incredibly tedious, honestly, and really the reason why I hadn't done any tutorials in a while. I was absolutely dreading this part, though I knew it had to be done to make these guys stand out. I'm not gonna lie, getting into all the shoulder pieces and painting only the raised details of the shield was a huge pain. Though it took hours to do, with lots of touch-ups in the end, I'm glad I did it. This clip is sped up 10 times, and it's still almost a minute long. That just goes to show the amount of time. But enough whining. It's done now, so let's move on. Now for the real pride and joy of any dwarf, their iconic beards. These are mostly covered by their shields, with little parts poking out on the sides. To vary the beard colors, I use Zandri Dust, Mournfang Brown, and Dryad Bark, all from Citadel. This gives each dwarf their own personality, and I think though it's subtle, it really adds something to the models when you take a close look. Just like with the shields, to add some variation, I try and mix the different beard colors up across the unit. Next up, the weapon halves got some Abaddon Black. This is the same across the whole army, but just make sure to dot the top of the halves above the blade. The weapon handles were then hit with Genestealer Purple. Another small detail, but a great chance to add a pop of brightness to these guys. I find this detail is a great place to add some new colors to the models. It really helps break up all the metallics for sure. On to some specific details of the command strips. Here I use Wazdakka Red to paint the banner. I use different colors for this across the units to differentiate them all from one another. Next, Balthazar Gold is used for the champion's shield handle, drum, sticks, and the topper beard armor. I also painted the drum's skin with Rakarth Flesh and the exposed head of the banner bearer with Cadian Fleshtone. Each one of these models has a little pouch on his hip, probably a pipe and tobacco for after the battle. These are all done with Steel Legion Drab. Finally, a wash is applied all over with thinned down Nuln Oil. This really adds some definition to all the metallic details and helps to add some shadow between the different colors on the models. I watered this down so it didn't dull the armor too much, since I wanted it to remain fairly bright. I then added Ushabti Bone to the horns on the champion's helmet and banner topper, as well as some gold to the drum and banner's trim. You'll also notice here that I hit the champion's cape with Phoenician Purple from Citadel. Not like I forgot to hit record or anything like that. And to wrap these guys up, I painted the runes on the banner with Teclis Blue. I thought this looked really striking in the end. Just be careful to only hit the raised detail here, as you really want this to look tidy. And there you have it. I love how these guys turned out, and the Ironbreaker model looks amazing with all their ornate armor and details. These guys are a great representation for Clan Angrund, ready to fight in the tunnels of Karak Eight Peaks for their Lord Belegar. Working through these units was a real challenge, but with a bit of Dwarven stubbornness, your warriors will be ready for battle. Thanks for watching. I really love how this army's looking, and with these models out of the way, the hardest part is behind us. If you like this kind of thing, or learned something today, please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with this and other projects as well as battle reports. We're almost at 300 subscribers, which I think is really awesome, and I appreciate you all for tuning in. Until next time, enjoy what you do, and keep on painting.